Well, hello, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to another Real Talk session, I guess. My name is Norma Fran. I'm a life coach and integrative nutrition coach, and I help women change their relationship with food and their body. And what I'm doing in this episode of Real Talk today is talking about uncomplicating the relationship you have with your body. So before I dive into that, though, let's turn off all of these notifications real quick, get them out of the way. And I'm going to do that just by talking a little bit about why it's so complicated, that relationship you have with your body, and then a few things that you can do to start practicing to change that. So before we dive in, if you happen to be live here with me on either Facebook or YouTube, go ahead and leave a hello so I know you're here. Just drop that in the comments. And if you are happen to be catching this on a replay, and if you have any questions, feel free to send me a comment. You don't even have to get into the details of your question. Just put I have a question in the comments and I will respond to you privately if you prefer. And we'll do it that way. I just want to make sure that everybody that takes the time to listen has an opportunity to connect with me and get their questions answered. So we are going to dive right in then. Let's see. So, again, uncomplicating this relationship we have with our body. So, one of the reasons emotional eating is so complicated is that your relationship with food is directly connected to the relationship you have with your body and vice versa. Your relationship with your body has been seriously influenced by a number of factors that are completely external to you, things that have been sending you these messages for a very long time that maybe your body just isn't good enough. So here's what I mean. It can go all the way back to your childhood and your family and how you were raised with food. If there was a lot of emphasis placed on weight, or maybe your food intake was strictly controlled, or maybe even placed on a diet at an early age, you might have some some effects from that. You might have not the best relationship with food if you've always been in this restriction mode. Now, and then there might always have been that possibility that maybe food was really scarce for you when you were growing up. And that could be really traumatic too as a child growing up. So we start to make some really deep connections with food and our body based on some of the things we experienced as a child, and particularly around our families and how we were raised with how food was presented as we were raised. Now, the other place, kind of similar, is your friends and your social network. That's like the real live people in your life that you spend time with. And you can trace that all the way back to elementary school and middle school and high school, and think about how as your body was changing and you were learning more and more about yourself, how food played a role in that, and how you looked at your body and what you thought. Did you like it? Did you feel like it wasn't good enough? Were you comparing yourself a lot to some of your friends and people in your social network? And then even now, as we're full adults, we probably still do some of that because those behaviors we bring with us and they just evolve over time. So the other place where, and this is the biggest one, where we get a lot of influence is media, like TV, magazines, advertising, even the packaging on our food is signaling that our body isn't quite good enough the way it is. So buy this thing and eat this, and it'll be all better. And then social media, the granddaddy of them all. Diet culture's number one vehicle for keeping us all deeply ingrained in this idea that our body is just not good enough the way it is, and that the only answer is dieting. So that's where some of this stuff has come from, this the external factors that have influenced the way you think about food in your body. And they're pretty deep if you really think about it. And then some of them, like I said, are much more surface level and kind of in your face, like the social media and the TVs and magazines and all of that. But because all of this messaging and a lot more from even other places, many of us have experienced these eating behaviors like dieting. Has It's been this attempt to kind of manipulate our body into a different size or shape, and not only just change the way it looks, but do it as quickly as possible. And it's also left us, a lot of us, actually hating our body and believing that it's just not good enough, which translates to I'm not good enough in this body. So, do you see how that connection is happening? So, when we're constantly trying to control our food so that our bodies will change and be acceptable in the world, we've built this connection between food and our bodies. And oftentimes we're making decisions about the food that we're going to put in our bodies based on an attempt to make our bodies smaller. And I should actually include not only the food we put in our bodies, but the food we choose not to, in the form of like restricting or eliminating food groups, that kind of thing. Now, can you relate to any of this? I really think you can. There's this, I hear this same type of thing so often as I'm working with my clients. So the truth of the matter is, our world is just not built for larger size bodies. Mentally and emotionally, we're getting signals every single day that unless we're a particular size, we're just not good enough. And physically, our world is difficult to navigate if you live in a larger body. Airplane seats, heck, public seating of any kind, for that matter, like restaurants and venues and that type of thing, it is not designed for a person that lives in a larger body. So, of course, you feel like something is wrong with your body when you can't navigate the world you live in with ease. And of course, you've done the only thing you knew how to do to fix it, and that's to try to control your food or diet. Now, I know I can't, I know that I can say this kind of 100 times over, that the size of your body doesn't matter and you're worthy at any size, which is true, by the way. But I know that's probably not something you want to hear. I mean, I never did, because it did nothing to help me stop myself from hating my body. I would just think, well, that's kind of nice. And I know you mean well, but I still feel like shit about myself and my body. So you can tell me all day long that it doesn't matter and you're worthy. But if I don't believe it, it really means nothing. So what I wanted to do today is to let you know that I hear you. I mean, I've lived it myself. And I'm going to share 3 ways for you to start thinking a little bit different about your body and your food and yourself. And no, I'm not going to tell you that you need to stand naked in front of a mirror and tell yourself how much you love your body, because again, that doesn't serve the purpose. No amount of chanting affirmations naked is going to help make it any more real for you. We got to go a little deeper. So here's a few things that you can do to really start practicing getting to know your body. I think that's so important. We've spent so much time hating it and trying to change it. We often don't even realize or know what our bodies are capable of. So, number one, if loving your body is simply not accessible to you right now, it's okay. But how about working towards or practicing respecting your body, treating it well, treating it well by stop restricting your food and feed it. Feed it well. Keep it well hydrated and well rested so that you can continue to show up for you and your body can function at its best. Like I said, you don't have to wake up tomorrow and declare that you love your body, but you can wake up tomorrow and say, I'm going to respect my body today. So that's number one. Number two, let's minimize the noise, all this noise that's out there, by cleaning up your social media and those external messages that your body just isn't good enough, and start to fill it with other things, with accounts of people that are more like you, that you can connect with, whether you ever speak with them, through their account or not. But Find a real person with real interests that do real things that make sense to you, not some 20 something checking out her butt in the locker room mirror. Now, that's not, if that doesn't connect with you, get it off your page. Get rid of the accounts that are filled with like those before and after pictures, especially if those things are incredibly triggering for you. And for those of us that have pursued weight loss like it's our job, those things may actually be keeping you stuck in that pursuit because you're just flooded with all these before and afters. And for me anyway, it always turned into, well, if they can do it, why can't I? And then I would dig deeper and push harder and try to force my body to do things that it just never was designed to do. So basically, fill up your social feeds with people and things that lift you up and not tear you down and make you feel worse about yourself. All right, so number 3, this one is a little bit harder, but well worth the time. Spend a little bit of time thinking about the experiences you've had in your life, in your past, that have influenced you or influenced or played a role in shaping your current relationship with your food and with your body. Now, you don't have to do anything with this. Just notice what you come up with. Just notice that it's there. Because like I said in the beginning, those experiences, those external factors that have been part of a part of your life have influenced the relationship you have today. So it's worth your time to get to know them and understand how they influence that. Now, like I said, you don't have to do anything with it. It's just helpful sometimes just to drop into curiosity and notice things. And maybe you'll kind of stumble on something and you say, huh, so maybe that's why I do that. And you get just the littlest bit of relief to know that there's nothing wrong with you. You're just reacting to an experience that you had maybe as a child, maybe last week. It doesn't matter. It's just that your brain grabbed it and applied some meaning to it. So now you know. That's great information to have. Now you can do a little work on that. Now, our brains run on logic. So when you can do that and take the emotion out of the behavior and then apply just a little bit of logic, like, yeah, I guess that's why I do that. That makes sense. Then you kind of neutralize all of those emotions that are tied up within that experience. And you can really see it for what it really is, which is nothing more than an experience from your past. And how you choose to apply that experience or how you choose to allow that experience to shape your present, your current relationship with your body, that's entirely up to you. You don't have to be locked into that old past story. So that's what I have for you today. 3 ways to start thinking a little bit differently about your body. Number 1 was try not to force yourself to love your body. There's a lot of that noise out there. Work towards practicing respecting it. You've got to start somewhere, so let's start there. Number 2, clean up the noise. Do some spring cleaning of your social media feeds and the things that you pay attention to. Get people in your life that are more like you and have the same interests, and get rid of anything that's really triggering to you around your body, your weight, dieting. Just get them off your accounts. They're just taking up valuable brain space. And number 3, this one again was a little bit of a trickier one, but spend some time thinking about how you've been influenced, what experiences you've had in your life that have influenced the relationship you have today with your body. Neutralize it and take some of the energy out of it and get curious about it. And then you'll be able to start changing that story a little bit. All right, I hope that makes sense. The last thing I'd like to remind you of is that the Mind, Body, and Plate online community membership is getting ready to open the doors here on June 1st with a brand new core program that I designed to help you uncomplicate emotional eating and change that relationship with food and your body. Now, I'm so excited to get this thing started, and I'd love to have you join us so that you can experience that freedom that's on the other side of emotional eating. And all you need to do is click the link that I'm going to drop in the comments, and that will take you to the waitlist page. Pop in your name and your email address, and you will be on the list and will be the first to get all of the information about signing up in the membership. If you have any questions about that, I'll make this really super easy. You don't need to put the question in the comments. You can just simply type the word freedom. Type the word freedom in the comments, and I'll reach out privately through private messaging and answer any questions that you may have. All right, everyone, have a beautiful rest of the day, and I will see you next Wednesday at 12 Eastern Time. Talk to you soon. Bye.